Hey everybody, welcome to Obscurities and Miniatures, and it's been a good hot minute since we've had many models from Battle Yak Miniatures on this channel. And believe it or not, Battle Yak were the very first to get me inspired to finally start 3D printing one of our, were they the Blight Ghasts or something? This guy right here was one of the very first prints that I ever attempted to paint. And I noticed that recently Battle Yak was going to be having another anniversary, which is awesome to see. And I thought I'd focus on a couple of models that really caught my attention. They have been churning out, and from what I say they, I mean it's basically a one-man show as far as I know, but they have been churning out modular release after modular release for months now and years on end. And if you guys haven't had a chance to check out their stuff, by all means, please click that link below. So we've had, reanimated undead with a very steampunk tone to it. We've had crazy hatted bog-dwelling goblinoids. We've had some great mutant chaos marauder types. We've had guys that look out of that 9 movie in turn of the century boilerplate suits with a variety of pipes and tubing all over them. I don't remember what any of this stuff's called. Various retro-inspired robots. This is a pinup one, too. Steampunk airship rocket flying goblins with pistols and dynamite, and of course just big, ridiculous bombs. But that's not actually what we wanted to talk about today. I wanted to focus on one of their more recent releases, and those are the Dreggum. The Dreggum were these interesting hobgoblin-like guys. And again, that's one of the things I really dig about when Battle Yak goes off the path and starts doing something a little less ordinary. I mean, hobgoblins are a dime a dozen, I guess. I figure regular goblins are a lot more common, but these guys just had a unique look. Now, I printed the single pieces off just because for ease of filming, printing, painting, because I'll be honest, every single time I start printing parts for Battle Yak models, I end up with piles. Literally piles of parts, and I can't stop, and then nothing ever gets filmed. So I've kind of made it a point, and if you guys really want to see, I can show you. I've got the receipts to prove it at this point. And I do like to give those to friends to see what the kind of crazy concoctions they come up with too. But I like to show off the single piece sculpts. Number one, because it's easier for me to deal with. I got big old potato fingers, as you can see, even though they're all zoomed in. And it gets kind of annoying having to take 75 plus parts off of the print plate at a time. I lose my mind quite quickly. But these guys have, no nose, which was instantly noticeable. And they have got these, weird tendril, I don't know if they're tentacles, if they're mustaches, because even the female ones had it. And I gave one to Sparkle Trout a while back because I thought he was going to paint it. And I don't think he's picked up a paintbrush in I don't know how many weeks now. I know he painted something a while back, but I'm going to get on his case about that because he was asking me to print him a bunch of stuff the other day. And I'm like, I need to see some results. Anyway. They have a bit of a Victorian street gang vibe going on. Not this guy so much. They're kind of, I guess, like the Swamp Goblin dudes from GW, whose name escapes me, much like most everything names. And Battle Yak are one of the very few companies, I think, that can almost out-GW when it comes to the names of these models. Check out this guy. This guy is one of the Dreggum. This is the Grime Shade in Humor. Because that's a name, but I'm like, does he get high off his own supply here? Because it sure looks like it. Again, I don't know why this guy just reminds me of a goblin dude hanging out in the Haunted Mansion with the funky little stovepipe hat there as he's dripping poison and missing a couple of supports there on the bottom of his blade. Barely fits on a 25mm base. That's one thing. If you guys aren't familiar with the Battle Yak stuff, they do tend to be on the larger side of things. I'll show you guys a couple comparisons. This, much like all the other releases, is completely modular. If you want all of his parts, you can totally use them on any of the base bodies. I like this guy just getting ready for some fisticuffs. No shirt, no shoes, tattered jeans. rope around his hat because he can't even afford a nice proper I don't even know what those are called. Those sashes that run through the... Okay, someone's going to have to educate me on the finer parts of haberdashery, I guess, today. But I really like this guy. That's ready for some fisticuffs. Like an old-timey boxer. They actually had a bunch of big ogre-sized ones as well, and I just haven't had a chance to print much as of late, with the weather being as awful as it has been here in Southern California. But just a fun and interesting release. And in addition to those, like I said, Battle Yak has been just consistently churning out modular parts for all of their releases at this point. And so they had some guys called the Star Weavers recently. And while they may look like your typical space elves, I was getting some very retro vibes with this guy. Now, all of these parts are totally modular. And when I mean totally modular, there were like separate tabards, separate loincloths, separate shoulders, separate backpacks, a pile of heads. And I mean a veritable pile, like at least 12 plus various heads. So if you dig a lot of the space elf aesthetics, like me, I've always been a fan of like those clear chromed heads that the Dark Eldar always had. They have a very similar one in this set. But to me, this is very old school Dark Eldar looking, and I really liked that. This one I actually broke accidentally, one of his horns. I had smaller horns underneath these two right here, and so I had to try to clear off the second one just to kind of balance things out a bit. I did not do the best job of cleaning things up, unfortunately. But there were enough parts there that, I mean, due to the modularity of this set, if there are any space-style elf things that you like, any aspects of them, there absolutely were enough parts there to build out just about any type of set. If you know what I mean. And if you can't see me right now, which you can't, I am totally winking at you guys. So, just to celebrate with Battle Yak, we're going to have that link down below. And if you guys haven't had a chance, by all means, like I said, do take a look. A lot of fun models. I know they've had like Tree Man recently. We had like the Kung Fu Monk Minotaurs a while back. There were a whole set of Plague guys. And now I'm realizing I thought I had in front of me, there were some Space Orc types with some quite large guns. A pretty sci-fi'd up set of rats with various long-range weaponry, and unfortunately, I don't know where they are now. That's getting to be an issue. I have so many things, so many projects, and I want to film and show you guys, and I don't know where I put them. So I guess when I come across them, I'm just going to have to pop them up on social media. So keep an eye out for those. We'll definitely be showing those off. And like I said, celebrate their anniversary with them. Do take a look, and we'll have that link down below. So with that said then, this has been High Lord Tamberlane with Obscurities and Miniatures, saying thanks for watching, and we will see you back here soon. Bye-bye.